right, and we're live. Wow, this is uncharted territory. So I hope everyone listening knows that we're going into uncharted waters here today. So
this is Baby First Podcast.
Baby's first pod. But you've podded before, right? You've been in different shows and stuff.
I was interviewed once for Kate Kavanaugh's podcast about making money making art years ago.
Yeah.
And then I do lives with a Minimal Books. It's a small publishing company my friend runs, and we do writing sprints.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well, I do anything.
Yeah, that's fun. I've done like a few NaNoWriMos in my time, so the writing sprints are I like flashback to,
yeah,
to like
it's such like a lonely profession, so it's very nice to be able to
work with people. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad then that you're here because we have like firsthand subject matter experience on this new like uncharted waters that we're treading. Everybody, welcome to. Okay, so I have a few names that I'm playing around with. I think like Boys Love Book Club, I think is fun because it's long. But then I was like, okay, so it's Boys Love Literature, like Boys Love Lit. And I was like, oh, it's BLLIT. It's BLIT. And if they're not going to use BLIT, might as well we use it. So we're playing around with, I think that we are the Boys of Book Club and we're reading BLIT. I think that's
that's the distinction.
That's the distinction.
Yes.
You know, what's the name and what's the title and what's the BLIT? Yes. Born to BLIT, honey. Well, hi everyone. We are talking about BL books, BL in writing, manga, webtoon, smut, all of it. We're a very classy establishment here at Boys Love. And so we wanted
best of entertainment.
So we wanted to offer something for, the more literate side of the
true cultured girlies.
The true cultured girlies that value the art form of the written word. And sometimes the drawn word as well, because most of we'll probably do like webtoons and stuff in the future too. We'll see how this goes, but we had an opportunity to talk about a title this month. I think right now we're thinking about doing these just kind of like monthly drop-ins into the feed with a podcast feed and on YouTube. So we'll play around with it and see how it goes. But if anyone ever has any recommendations or opportunities that they'd want to share, be like, you gotta read this or whatever. We'll find some people and we'll talk about it, like just like a book club. But before that, I want everyone to know who this mysterious voice is that's joining me. That's like, that's not Adam. Now, wait a damn minute. Yeah, so I'd like to welcome Auburn to the show. Auburn, would you want to give a little intro? Share your background, your pronouns, where you're potting from, and what drew you into BL?
Hello, my name is Auburn Morrow. I'm an author for Wattpad Books with my debut novel, The Trial Period, coming out February 2025. Yes, thank you. Shout out to BL.
Yes.
Shout out.
Bull.
So if you're sick of these men, please pre-order my book. Support queer art. You don't have to read it. You could just buy it. And that's
just buy it. And you got to buy the pre-orders. That's the most important part. Buy pre-orders and then buy them separately. Buy individual books. Don't mass order a pre-order. You got to buy individually to get those numbers up. Get the streams up.
RJ is an ally for authors. That's exactly right. But if you like theater gays, if you like secret drag queens, fake dating, enemies to lovers, you will like my book, The Trial Period.
Yes.
It is a tropey rom-com mess.
That's awesome.
Written by a mess. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm currently in a bedroom at my mother's house. I am in between houses.
Sway. Is that a microwave behind you? Is that?
No, it's a printer, I swear.
I was like, wow, we're giving Dongup J-Up Ajuma's house background with a microwave.
No, this is the printer from Bad Buddy.
Oh, yes. And now we're going to do a quick tutorial on how to use the Canon printer.
That's it. I have been reading BL since, I want to say early high school, maybe late middle school.
Okay.
I'm from nowhere, Georgia, deep in the South.
Wow.
Nobody talked about gay people. It's like they didn't exist.
They didn't exist there. They didn't make it there.
I didn't know anybody. Yeah. I was like waiting around being like, now when am I going to start feeling different about boys the way I feel about girls? Why does it feel the same?
Yeah.
You know, and then I found out
gay people exist.
That were girls and boys, girls kiss girls and boys kiss boys. And I was like, we'll do some of that.
Well, thank God. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's like a dark, scary path. An alternate timeline.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. But I'm like a child of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So I could Google like gay movies, gay anime. And I just stayed up really late in my room under the covers.
Wow. Do you remember the first kind of like queer story that you've ever?
I was too young for it. I watched Queer as Folk.
Oh God, of course.
Like
of course you did. Oh my gosh.
And then I watched The L Word.
Yeah. Formative.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like this.
I want to say I made a joke on Twitter before that like my first BL was Auburn High School Host Club. But it was definitely, I mean, like growing up in the Philippines too, there's a lot like, it's very much like, oh, like a man in a dress is funny, or like, you know, or like our like comedic reliefs are like very feminized, like gay characters. And so I always had that. But when it comes to like, Auburn High School, Ranma 1/2 was another anime that I watched where it was like, Diva got wet was a man, Diva got wet became a woman. And so like it was always like playing around with like what it means to be in like to transport yourself in another world, like in the other gender. But I want to say like my first like BL, like true BL, the BL genre that we know today is probably Game Boys. And it was during the pandemic.
Yes.
Game Boys.
I loved the Game Boys. That classic of the pandemic.
Yeah.
If we're talking classic, mine was, and it kind of fits into the book we're talking about because it's also a red string story. It was We Meet Again.
Oh.
That was my first. I found it on YouTube for free.
Wow. Amazing. I didn't even know that BL, I should have assumed because obviously like also child of borders. So like I always hung out at the manga section. But I think I want to say in the like late aughts, I don't think people were publishing BL. I'm pretty sure I don't, or at least like it did not make Phoenix, Arizona's border shelves. So
probably not. It was not easy to procure. Like TV show wise, it's Until We Meet Again. But book wise, it was a very strange series, which again, I probably shouldn't have been reading when I was so young. It was called Loveless.
Okay.
And it was like the main character was very young and it was like an older kind of love interest, but they never got together. It was just hinted at.
Okay.
And then also, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Junjunko Romantica.
No.
It is classic BL of like tiny faces on big bodies.
On big bodies. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I know like we've talked to Dabbit before and he said that his first BL was My Coffee Prince, which was like the Gongyu drama because like I thought he was gay, like the character was gay, so
it's giving Mulan, like
Well, was Mulan my first BL? Who knows? Maybe it was. It was playing around in that area, I think. Well, amazing. Okay, well, we are so excited. Then we get to talk about our first print. Ize Press was so generous in giving us a copy, so I'm excited to talk about Tied to You. Okay, I'm gonna read you the material in the back. What do you in the publishing world? What do you call the thing in the back? The summary.
What a wonderful question, RJ. Summary, I guess.
Okay.
Summary, yeah.
like the leaflet or the back flap usually, or the cover or whatever. Okay, so let me read it so that we all know what's going on. Copy, something like that.
This all feels right.
Yeah. A date with destiny. Uso Shin was never one to believe in fate, but what else could be behind the hot mess his life has become? For years, Uso has pined after his close friend and crush, Jisoo Kang, wanting someone he knows he can never have. So when a ring of red thread appears around his finger, it feels like the universe is rubbing salt in his wound. This ring connects a person to their soulmate, and with it, neither can fall asleep when the other isn't present. The man with the other half of Uso's set, Jigon Kang, Jisuk's older brother. Determined not to let Jisuk find out, Uso avoids Jigon like the plague at the expense of his own health. Just when the insomnia is getting to be too much, Jigon swoops in with an offer. They share a bed, nothing more, nothing less. Uso reluctantly accepts, but what has he gotten himself into? It is a webtoon BL that has been published by Ize Press. Art by what? Original story by Cheliace. Micah Kim did the translation, and the lettering is by Chi Bui. Tied to you. So we read volume 1, but the full webtoon I did look up is on Tappytoon. All 64 chapters are there. So if you can't wait, you can read the entire webtoon there. Tied to you. Okay. You said you mentioned red string. So that is kind of like the main gaggery of this, where a red string kind of reveals your fated soulmate. But that's a common trope. You've read that before? Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
I've read it before. You see it, and you see it a lot in TV shows. Right now, there's a BL going on called Love and Centuries. That is the director who buys me dinner, a K-drama BL. I would actually say also the red string of destiny.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It is not, sometimes it's not a literal red string, but in this book, there is a literal red string.
Yes, exactly. I think it really is just like soulmate. It encompasses that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think I've noticed now that you mentioned Director Buys Me Dinner, the soulmate thing, it's like they kind of have to show that it's like the fate. Like I feel like in like Western media, when we talk about soulmate, it just is like it's the one. It's more emotional, as opposed to I feel like in kind of like the Eastern stories where it is like it's like legend, or like it's part of lore. It's destiny.
It's more magical.
Yeah. Which I do like that the book kind of says, yep, it's just a part of it. And they do have like one line where he goes to the doctor and he's like, oh, I thought it was urban legend.
Yes, that is one of the only things that bumped me about
me
this.
too.
Okay, good. I'm not crazy, because
I was like, you're having your cake and eat it too. Why is it?
That's exactly it. Yeah. Because when we like find out about it, when they're like, let's do a little background, let's do a little world building, they're like, everyone has a ring. Okay, so if everybody has a ring, why are we calling it urban legend?
Yeah.
Why can you go to the doctor and get diagnosed with a ring?
Yeah.
But everybody's surprised it exists.
Yes, totally. And then they like look up like news, and like you can see that there are people, it's like known, because it's like people have tried to like kill the other person so they don't have to like live this way. Yeah, but I mean, I'll eat up a damn older, younger. Are you kidding me?
Yes. It is like older, successful CEO with like younger, mature for their age,
but still very much their age of like not sure of what they want.
Still cutie.
It's so funny. The cutie thing. So the older brother, Jigon, you see that he like has other boyfriends, and so I have had to like stop and be like, wait, this isn't Uso, because he looks exactly like
yes. And I think that was done on purpose, and that's why I love reading manga and like manhwa, because it is also telling a visual story. Totally. Like oh, he definitely has a type, because it tripped me up too.
I was like, oh, it's like it's that unrequited love turning into a type, where it's like, well, I couldn't have someone like Uso So I start dating other twinks.
Yeah. When you have a broken heart, call up a twink.
Call up a twink. They'll keep ruining it for you because they're the worst. Okay, let's talk. I have a few questions about. Okay, so sleep, perchance to dream. Diva, what is your relationship with sleep? How would you how do you sleep? Are you sleeping well? It's like the idol question. Are you eating well? Are you sleeping well?
Yeah. That is the theme of this story. Like now, don't forget, sleep is as important as eating, as water. It is literally so important.
Sleep is like the main it's the HP of these people.
And I'm a good sleeper. Okay. I'm like a sim. I hit that bed, I'm out.
You're done. Wow.
I'm done. We've had earthquakes in Georgia where I have slept through. Wow. Because I'm such a deep sleeper. However, I have a terrible sleep schedule.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't want to go to sleep because it's still today. So I still have time to like work on things.
Yeah.
But I got to get up at 3 a.m. to start baking the bread.
Start baking the bread, honey. Got to get in that BL bakery and start
my bakery AU.
Yeah. You got to go to Sung Han Bin's bakery and start helping him out, obviously.
I'm like the Ganu in Han Bin's bakery, and I'm just rooting for him.
Just running around. Oh my God. Yeah, it's so funny. It was really funny reading this because I think we've kind of alluded to it in the show that Adam and I's like love language is sleep. Like our relationship started with sleep. We were roommates in college. And because I was the first one who got an air conditioner for the room because like it was our first apartment as like independent adults. I bought the first air conditioner, and so he would just like come to my room and just like take naps, and so we would just like sleep on my little tiny low IKEA futon. And then it stopped being just sleep. But you know, it's literally just like this where it's like it's just sleeping, we're just sleeping, and then I'm sure it's gonna turn into not just sleep soon.
It's intimate. It's very intimate, you know?
Which I think like, well, that's why when we watch like His Man, or like even when we just first started watching like Korean or Thai BLs, like it's like, oh, I can sleep with like a friend and that's okay. Like, but obviously with the queer lens, you see it and you're like, well, yeah, but that's actually like part of the gay experience of the like, we talk about the oh my God, what is it called? Where it's like it's not really what's happening.
Oh plausible deniability.
Yes, plausible deniability. Thank you. It's that like plausible deniability is such a important part of like queer stories because that's kind of like how it starts. And I think like even when we watch like the dating shows, where I always kind of forget like, oh yeah, like people can just sleep. But that's the whole point. It's like, yeah, but it's the deniability. Like, yes, we are just sleeping, but there's so much that can go on and you don't know that, especially for a BL or a manhwa. It's like, prime resources, you know?
It's getting closer. I am biromantic asexual.
Okay.
And I actually had to learn that. Like I had somebody who became my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we used to sleep together at night. And I didn't realize that it was like supposed to be nice and intimate. It was like very clinical for me. I'm like,
yes, practical. See ya.
Don't touch me. I need another blanket. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. But it's very important.
Yeah. But now like Adam and I will literally take naps. I would say it's tough. I've also had a weird sleep schedule, obviously, because of all of like the stuff that we get to watch. But like Adam, as soon as he closes his eyes, he will just like he's zonked. He's done. He's out. My mom is the same way too, but that's from like years of being a late shift nurse. So
she is trained.
She is trained. She will like, this was back when we were Disney gays, but whenever she would come to like the park, she would just sit at a bench and like deep sleep.
Wow.
For like 30 minutes. Yes. And then I'd be like, okay, mom, let's go. We have to go to the next thing. And she'll be like, okay. And then she'll just be fine. It's crazy.
That's incredible. She has like a sleep power button.
It's literally a button. She's like, okay, wake me up when you're done. Boop. I would say I keep thinking that like I'm a restless sleeper, but I think if I'm just really tired, then I kind of just like go through it. I'm a big dreamer though. I have lots of dreams, and it got to a point where I had to like write them down because I was like, they're so wild. I think like my big woo woo is that like dreams are your like subconscious starting to like form messages in order to like you keep thinking about this. And it was really big like during college and in my 20s. Now all my dreams are like super boring. They're just like, oh well, yeah, my dream was that I like went to Trader Joe's and like Iganu was there, and then we were talking about like what he want, like he was working as a cashier, and like we like he, you know, stuff. And Adam would be like, okay, cool, this is not interesting.
Maybe that's what it is, because I never dream. It's always black. So maybe if you're a lighter sleeper, you get to dream, and if you're a heavy sleeper, you don't.
You're out. Yeah, maybe it is.
Sleepy head.
Yeah. But that's like I remember growing up, I was like, I could not fall asleep. My mom forced me to take naps. I hated it. I was just like not an easy sleeper. And now it's like a good sleep. If I don't get a good night's sleep, it affects me for like the rest of the day. It's like really bad. Yeah. Very cranky. The jet lag when we went to Korea and the Philippines was really bad for me. But I am definitely a person like if I don't get at least, well, I don't even say like at least like a certain amount of hours, but if I know I am sleep deprived, I would be like Uso, like walking around with dark circles, feeling like I am a zombie. It's because if I can't sleep, I just know that my body is like crying on the inside.
You're just like waiting for the opportunity to go back to sleep.
Yes, yeah. When you were reading this, I'm curious, did you the whole destiny thing, the whole red string theory or the red string like trope, how would you do? if it was real, how would you do with it? What's your mode of thinking?
It's very interesting. It almost like takes the journey out of it. I feel like I would almost be like, oh well, that's comforting. I don't have to like keep looking around like, oh, this red string has done the work for me.
Yeah. I think like I feel the same way. I think with like Uso of like I would be I think I would get distracted if I know who it is, but it wasn't the person that I thought it was going to be. But also like, isn't that just life? It's never going to be the person you think it is.
It never is.
It never is.
And you're right, because he's faced with like he like has these feelings that are already there.
Right.
And I wonder if like that's something he's like grappling with, like, oh, were these feelings for nothing? Are they like not even real, but they feel so real? And he's barely spent any time with
Jigon?
Jigon?
Yeah.
He hasn't spent time with Jigon in so long. Like, why would he be in love with him? Like, he was so cold with him the last time he saw him. There's no reason for him to be in love with him. For now. Yeah, so we're playing with a lot of tropes here. So we've already talked about like red string, obviously, which is kind of like main and crucial to the plot. We've talked about like older, younger, but I would say like this is okay. So Jigon is like a CEO of his own like startup, right? Something like that. And Uso and Jisuk are in college. But when they were in high school, let's say as seniors trying to get to college, Jigon was already at that college tutoring Uso to get to that college. That's kind of like where in the book, that's where Jigon first develops feelings for Uso, and then the big plot is that like the big reveal is that he catches Uso playing a little smooch on Jisuk. So we've already got the watching of the sleep. We've already got the one-sided kiss. Like, come on. Tutor student. I feel like there's a lot of BL that a tutor and a student.
Yeah. So we've already.
And can I say something about Jigon?
Yeah.
He is like classic to me K-drama
Oh, totally.
Bad boy lead. Because it's
totally.
not bad boy in like Western of like I smoke and I'm like riding on a motorcycle. It's like a cold CEO that is only soft for the love interest.
Yes, it's that tsundere, right? Where it's like the cold lead, but then also like chaebol energy because he's also a CEO. And so like for me, you said director by dinner, like I really liked that and the new employee. I really like those two BLs. And so that's the vibe that it was getting me. Of like very cold, very like by the books, but then to the person they like kind of flubber, you know.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. There is this like friend, obviously, like, so the main kind of love triangle is that Uso has been in love with Jisuk basically like all of his life, but Jigon is in love with Uso, and then it kind of gets like muddy at the end. You don't know if Jisuk actually also likes Uso, but he's been very jealous, or at least like very presenting a lot of jealousy between the time Uso and Jigon have formed.
I have a theory.
Okay.
This might be me overthinking it. I can never turn off my writer brain. I am a beret for your channel, and the reason I write such long comments is because I'm thinking of the story.
We appreciate it so much. Auburn is like the biggest Ampliverse stan, and we always love when Auburn's comments come through.
It's true. I think about it too much. I just love stories so much.
Yeah.
So my theory is it's not quite jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
So in the story, it all sort of kicks off because Jigon, like, he like can't sleep. His brother's worried about him. Like, he can't find the person that his red ring. But then eventually in the story, Jisuk's like, oh, he found him.
It's just an unnamed partner.
Right? It's an unnamed partner. So this is my theory. I think Jisuk is mad at his brother for leading Wuseo on. I think Jisuk is under the impression Wuseo already likes him and is like, you're messing with his feelings. He found your partner.
Oh, see, that's more interesting. Because that's the thing. I did have the love triangle, like the unrequited, did kind of bump me a little bit, just because I was like, okay, I've seen it. You know, like we get the unrequited, and I think the whole point is to obviously empathize with. I think the protagonist is Uso.
He's the narrator.
He's the narrator, so it's kind of hard to like separate it. But I was kind of getting to a point where it's like, okay, like when is this unrequited love? Like when is it going to crest over, or like something has to happen, or something's got to give?
Yeah.
So I was kind of waiting for that. So that I think this complication makes it really interesting, because I also think like in BL, it does play around with like, okay, friendship can turn into like a relationship, but I also think there's value in just telling a story of like gay friendship or just friendship in general.
100%.
Like, I almost am like, I feel like it's more compelling if Jisuk is fully like, I really don't like, I'm not I'm sorry, like I really don't think there's anything more. I truly value you as like my other person, meaning like you are like the brother that I have always wanted. And not to say like Jigun was a bad brother to him, but it's like you are like my other half in that way.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't have to be romantic. And I think like that's also part of
platonic love.
Yeah. Like platonic love, I feel like sometimes it doesn't kind of, obviously, because if you're selling a BL story, you want the romance, but like there's also like value in just like strong friendships, especially in queer stories, because we like, that's kind of like a found family. That's like how we survive, you know?
100%. Yes.
So
some of my most like comforting BL has always been ones with good friend chemistry.
Yeah,
you can tell if a cast and like the characters are like just characters for the story, or they're like really good friends. A new series, We Are, just ended, a Thai BL, and it is almost a friendship story first and then a romance. And I just find them so cozy. So I think it is. I think it's like a friendship concern.
Yeah.
Because they like hit us over the head like he is 100% straight.
I know. My God, they really do.
And then Miss Mina came along and he's like,
just like all of a sudden becomes like a different person of like, oh my God, like just pure puppy love, basically. which is kind of fun. I mean, like the secondary romantic story is always kind of like a comedic version of the main one, right? Like sometimes they like to play around with that. So it's kind of funny that like now Jisuk is kind of like puppy love over like Mina, who is like Jigun's friend, older. So it's also like him pining over like an older character. So
yeah,
I thought it was very interesting. We talked to
Young Chaser and Nuna Chaser.
Yes. Oh my god, these young. I will say though, like Uso's not really a young chaser.
It's like it's not registering to him at all.
Yeah.
He's only starts getting flustered by him by like towards the end.
Yes, I think like okay, well that's like the big shift, right? Like Jigon kind of makes it clear, or like basically comes out front and says like, I know that I was cold to you or whatever, blah blah blah. But I actually don't remember if he says that it's because he says he likes him, but he basically says like, I can be Jisuk for you, which is very interesting. I mean, that's so BL. Like I love it.
I think Jigon has like, I think he's like a master manipulator, and I mean that in like a lovely way.
Endearing, parentheses, like charming.
Yes, I think he's got a little board with like strings. I think he's the one who called Mina to come back and like, I need you to connect my brother so I can put the moves on this child, not child, this person.
Yes,
he's like, he was the one who got the sister to move out, so Wusa could move in. So I think he's just planting little things to start courting Wusa appropriately.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is like what, a 25-year-old CEO. Like,
he has this seduction scheduled.
He does. He had a whole team working on this.
Yes, you know I think he said he could be Jisuk to like lessen the pressure of the soulmate thing, because that is like such a like a huge thing in this world. Like you could die if you don't give into it. So I think by saying that, he's like, let me take some of the pressure off, so we can get to know each other, so we can have fun.
We can have fun. And at the end of the day, just get some damn sleep. Okay.
Please. Enough of these 1 hour naps.
I know. That was so funny. They were like, to test our theory, let's take a 1 hour nap together. And I don't know why I thought like, I don't know why it gagged me sometimes. This is why I sometimes really like reading or like watching stories, because I feel like the ideal audience where I just kind of like, oh yes, you did want me to get gooped. But the fact when Usa was like, wow, sleeping cuddling was like better than like sleeping with just holding hands. I know, my mind was like, wow, amazing.
Wow, the magic is working.
It really is. It's magical. Oh my god. I do
appreciate they did the joke of like sleep with me, but they really meant like go to bed, not like
sleep. I know. That see, if this was an adaptation, that would have been the end of episode 1 or 2. That would be the cliffhanger.
They would have paused it, hit end credits, preview for next episode.
Yes. It would have paused. It would have done the screen cap like glossy.
The OST begins.
The OST. Dabbit's OST starts singing, and then and then you go to next.
Yeah, give Dabbit an OST for a BL.
I am trying so hard, and by trying so hard, I mean I will tweet it once in a while.
It's all about manifestation.
It is. So yeah, okay. So we talked about BL Stations of the Cross. I said the watching of the sleep, obviously, and just like sleep politics in general.
Yep.
I feel like that's definitely like a visual that we see a lot. The misunderstood relationship. So it could be like, I think there's multiple versions of this. So there's obviously like Wusa realizing that Jigun was not actually cold to him or hated him. It's because you find out like, because there's a chapter where we see it through Jigun's perspective, like of that relationship while he was tutoring him. It's actually because he's trying to be distant because he was starting to develop feelings for Uso. So like that misunderstood relationship. I'm trying to see. We have not come to the water yet, but I'm sure water will come in the future. I'm sure.
We do have another volume.
Yes, there's another volume. I'm trying to see. Did you remember any other kind of like BL Stations of the Cross in that way, where it's like the act? Oh, the taking care of the drunk.
But taking care of the drunk, yes.
there was a scene where Ji-gun comes home like wasted after a client meeting, and he's just like, I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Acting a little cutie wooty. The only thing was missing is that wet towelette and like wiping down his. We missed it.
I'm sure there's going to be like a shout like Pung Duck 304 where he comes out after taking a shower and he's like, he did unbutton him to take care of him when he was sleeping. So
he did. So we're close.
There is I don't know if this should be a Station of the Cross because it happens a lot, but like when the hairstyle changes, it means like there's a shift in the character.
Mm-hmm.
But in the later chapters, Ji-gun like shows his forehead basically to kind of like show that.
Yeah, when I was gooped, he was like, "Oh, you look good in that suit." Oh, yeah. Okay.
So there you go. There's one.
I would also say the putting on the seatbelt.
Oh,
he puts the seatbelt on, and it's like it's so funny to be like everybody knows how to put the seatbelt on. You're just doing it to get close to their face.
Get close, yes. That happens all the time. That I'm like, people know how to do this.
The simplest act. It cracks me up every time. I'm like, I know what you're doing.
I think that's it for Stations of the Cross. Was there anything else that you that either you really loved or other things that may have bumped you with the story?
I think you mentioned it. Like, I feel like this first volume lays a lot of groundwork.
Totally, yeah.
And like explanation. And I feel like most of like the true drama and action is going to end up in the second volume. I feel like a lot of this was set up with Mina. Ji-gong's ex is obviously going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And Ji-sok having to like find out about, them. What do you think your feelings on like the miscommunication trope, but it's like we just didn't tell you the truth because they're hiding this secret from
him. Hiding the secret from Ji-sok.
Yes, they kind of have to lie to get around it. What are your thoughts?
Well, okay, the first reason was like, okay, what was the reason why they didn't want to tell him?
Okay.
Because I think that's where I was like, well, what's the big why? What are we gaining by not telling?
Okay. So I'm glad you brought this up. Because this is like you have to convince the audience. If you're going to do something like this, you have to convince the audience why the two main characters can't be together.
Right.
And I think the reason, it's very soft reasoning. I think Woo-saw doesn't want to tell Ji-suk because he still likes him.
Right.
And I think Ji-gung doesn't want to tell Ji-sok because he hasn't like convinced Woo-saw yet that it's like meant to be.
Yeah, it does feel very just like soft pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think like an easy way, or they could have like justified it by being like, well, we don't want to like make him uncomfortable by the situation. But at the same time, like, your friend, like, him. He's very sweet. They do a good job of making Ji-sok. Like, I understand why Woo-saw would be in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
I understand like
he's
why.
So charming.
Yes, he's very charming. I understand why Ji-gun wouldn't want to like do anything that could potentially hurt him by being like, I'm in love with your best friend.
Mm-hmm. But they've made it so clear that Ji-sok is not interested.
He's not interested. I know.
Until maybe the end. If my theory is wrong, I will eat my shoe.
Adam will eat a hat. You will eat a shoe.
I will eat a shoe.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see how like that turns out. But I think it's definitely fun. This is my first TBL. That shelf behind me, not a lot of rated T for teen over there. So it was very nice to be like, oh, okay, so I am watching a BL. Like
yes. Spicy level mild.
Spicy level mild. I mean, like they're showing like sexuality. Like obviously, Ji-gun has a boyfriend.
I did like that. I always like it when characters have like previous relationships.
Right.
Especially he's an adult. It would make sense.
Do you think that guy in the hoodie is probably Ji-gun's ex?
100%. Yeah. 100%. If I know a K-drama like I know a K-drama, he is gonna come back and he's probably the villain of.
He's probably the villain. Yes, and you know you can't trust a twink, a chaotic twink like that.
Mm-hmm. He's got a little beauty mark.
Yeah. Well, there's also like it's such a public breakup. Like he breaks up with him in like a restaurant or a cafe.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
and it is kind of annoying. Like I would be like, I sympathize with the chaotic twink, but at the same time, I was like, "Ooh, girl, like, don't plead. Ooh, that's so bad." No.
Get up. There are other things fine. Yes. He's kind of rude.
He's rude. He's cold. Just because he's rich, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you don't want a man that like treats you like a client. Like you don't want
literally.
That. Yeah,
literally. But it's so funny because the way he's characterized is so like, oh my god, I totally blah blah blah, and then I like had lunch with him. So
justice
it's like
for femme gays. Damn, justice for femme gays.
Yes, I mean like that. Oh, you want to talk about like mask femme? Like I think like I would love to see a BL with femme leads.
Oh, I have it for you.
There's one that's coming up, isn't there? Where it's like I have this in the Discord, but there's like.
Nut. His name's Nut.
Yes,
I think he was in Pit Babe.
Yeah.
It's that. Like, if you want to watch one that's completed, Secret Crush on You.
Okay.
There's a main couple, a secondary couple, and then my trans icon Daisy. I don't know their real name, but in the show she's Daisy.
Okay.
And they're femme gays.
Okay.
And it's like a huge contention actually in the beginning. And it's like a story about like these boys that just fall in love with them.
Oh my god, amazing. Okay, yes. Okay, then I will put that on the list.
Guys, I know so much about BL. You think I do nothing else, but like watch and read BL. I know I've consumed so much.
Well, I'm sure there are people screaming as they're listening to this to be like, yes, finally because I think we've kind of like weaponized our BL newbiness. We're like, I don't know, what's that? Who's Earth? Who's Mix? And everyone is just like, ah!
A Tale of a Thousand Stars is my favorite BL.
that is the BL trope where it's like you say a name, you're like, oh, the Earth, and then everyone's like, oh, I'm like, check it, like just
Earth Mix. Oh.
I actually just saw, TikToks of Earth Mix, because I think Mix had a fan sign or whatever, and
probably
Earth came like flowers and whatever. Blah blah. I'm like, ugh.
I'm not a delusional person that I think these people are dating in real life.
It's very clear when they are.
But every now and then I'm like, huh. That'd be interesting. Them and Auburn. Oh, every now and then I'm like, no.
Well, we're finishing Cherry Magic Tie right now. And so
good old Tay New.
When I do watch it, I'm like, and we see Tay, we're always like, well, there's.
Did you see him in Force's lap? On his birthday? Force was like holding him in his lap, and he's just like giggling.
It's so funny. We were like, okay, this is do not take this seriously, BL fans, okay?
These are jokes.
These are jokes. Implausible deniability.
Yeah.
But when we watch Cherry Magic Tie and they're like doing the scenes, where Adam and I was just like, and the gay one's not the one you think.
And this is just lived experience, but he is very close to his mom and is very sweet to his mom.
Yes. Song Han Bin also very close to his mom.
Very close to his mother, yes.
It all goes back. It's a circle. Okay, well, I think that would be a great transition into the final challenge of every episode of BLLIT.
Mm-hmm.
We just got $1 million and we get to produce this BL. Mm-hmm. So we are casting Usa, Jisuk, and Jigon, and we'll also cast the secondary characters too. So.
I did cast Mina.
You did? Okay.
I forgot to cast Jihan, but I did cast Mina.
I think we can cast Jihan. We can find a chaotic twink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll have a line.
Yes, we'll have a full line. It'll be a different actor every episode. Okay, so we are the story is Korean, so we'll do KBL casting for this.
Yes.
Okay, Usa, who's your hero? Who do you want it to be?
Okay, I do want to say I am a baby on K-pop.
Okay.
I've only been listening to K-pop for a year.
Wow.
Because of ZB1.
Wow.
Adam and RJ, that's the only reason I'm listening to K-pop, because I stumbled upon their recaps.
Amazing.
So I have two options. You know, I have a number one and an understudy.
Okay. Yes, you always have to have your alternates.
I chose Seon. He was the lead in Light on Me.
Oh, okay.
BL. He just has like a matureness. He looks very young, cutie woody, but there's like a matureness to him, and I think he would do very well.
Okay.
And I want him in more acting gigs. I love him.
Uh-huh.
And then my understudy, and this might be because I've been watching the MV a lot, but Jungwon from ENHYPEN.
Oh, Jungwon would be a great.
I'm just thinking cutie woody.
Okay, so I'm looking it up. I know the Produce girls are like going crazy, but Seon was a Produce girly.
Yes.
He was on Produce 101 season 2, and he was also on Mix 9. So okay, Idol Roots is there. Mix 9, wasn't that one with Umuti and?
Oh gosh, that I do not know.
Okay. Oh, Mix 9 was the one, and see now all the K-pop girls are like, okay, so Mix 9 was the one where they formed a girl group and a boy group, and I believe this was the one that had Donghan and I think maybe Jab.
Wow, everything really is connected. Small world.
And it's funny that this is the Lee Donghan. Okay, so yeah, Ace was in there. Okay, wow. And Jaejun.
Wow, I didn't know that.
With Jaejun from City Boy Log and Tan.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. The
lore.
That's great. The pipeline is so short.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's why like obviously like we started watching Boys Planet because of Kim Ji-young, and then like we just realized like, oh, actually the Idol BL pipeline is like rich.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm writing these down because we're gonna have to, put these in perpetuity and make sure that we manifest. So Iseon from Light on Me or Jungwon from ENHYPEN. Okay, Jisuk. Do you have any strong contenders for Jisuk? Jisuk, not Jigun. So he's the unrequited.
Yes, I was thinking puppy. I was thinking also cute. Could rage younger. I did Juwon.
Yes, I was like, you literally said puppy, and I was like, it's Chajuan. Oh my god.
The entire time.
They have this whole thing of like, we were friends like freshman year of high school, and then all of a sudden he like growth spurted and like became taller than me, and then became like really popular in school. And it's like, oh, that is totally Chajuan. Okay.
He's got the charisma. And I want to see him in a cute role because he's just so cute naturally.
Yes. Yeah. I think that was the biggest like surprise when that flip happened in oh my god, I'm blinking out on the show. Oh my god.
Love for Love's Sake.
Love for Love's Sake, thank you. The flip where all of a sudden he becomes super cutesy, and then you like watch videos of him and you're like, oh, that's him. That's his real personality.
Yep. I watched it, I went, uh-oh, the brain chemistry is changing.
Oh no. Oh my god, I'm forgetting it again. What is it called? Love for Love's Sake. I keep writing Love is Like a Cat, but it's not. Okay, Jigun, who are we casting as our chaebol lead?
This one was harder for me. But I chose Rowoon from SF9. Oh, I think he kind of looks like Ju-won a little bit.
He does. I mean, Rowoon is like,
and he's like later 20s.
Totally. Rowoon is like ideal. I mean, I think like he's a Chao No, right? Like he's definitely more of the kind of masculine Korean ideal where it's like big chest. Like that trope.
And they're big shouldered boys in this book.
There are some T-shaped boys in this BL. I think Rowoon would be great. Didn't Rowoon have that kind of little BL episode in that Netflix series that like
I don't know. I just know him from Extraordinary You.
Oh, yes. I know him. Yeah, I know him from SF9. My mom actually, because my mom watches all of the like Joseon Dynasty ones. Yes. So Rowoon and An Hyo-sup, who was the business proposal, the leading business proposal. There's a Netflix show, A Time Called You. Where they had a BL storyline where they were like unrequited lovers.
Is this the one with the car crash?
It's the one with the car crash. But it's like but this is the one where it's like the show is like I don't think it's episodic but it's like they're all like different like alternate realities or something like that.
Okay, that's cool.
So it's like in this one timeline they are a BL couple because it was just for that one episode.
Yeah, he took a baby step, and now I'm gonna push him out the gate.
And I'm pushing him. I want you sleeping with Jungwon.
I want you to flirt with that twink.
I want the chemistry. Okay. Okay. So let's do Mina. I think that would be fun. Yeah. You said you had someone for Mina.
I do. First of all, if I could, I would put Chu from Luna in
everything. Absolutely.
Everything. I love her. But my more serious answer is Daeyeon from Twice because she's but she's also seems a little mischievous.
Yes, she's very goofy. She's I would say probably the goofiest out of all of the Twice members.
And I think Mina's fun.
She does. I mean, like she really comes in here like a Trixie Mattel, like side ponytail, like 80s off shoulder top. Like she's very fun and could be a good time. So
yes. I think she has ulterior motives, but I love that for her.
And we support that. We support it. I think that could be fun for Chu for sure. Jiyeon, the sister. I think like this would be a good like well she's younger technically. There's a girl in Promise 9. Her name's oh my god. I'm such a bad Flover. I only know her as Megan because that's her American. Jiwon. She's like one of Boo Sung Kwan's like little girly pop friends.
Oh yeah.
I think she would be a fun energy because the sister, we don't get a lot of her, but she gives very much like young. She's obviously the baby sister, so I think it'd be fun to just like see her kind of sprinkle in.
I think she fits too.
Yes, yeah, she fits the visual line,
the visual storytelling,
the visual storytelling of the siblings for sure. And anything to get these Promise 9 girlies out of the basement for some work. That agenda. Okay, we get to cast Jihan, the villainous, chaotic twink. A lot of options here.
I know. Who do I want?
So did you watch Build Up with us?
I did.
Build Up. Okay, so I'm thinking Woong from AB6. He was in Partners. With
yes, I like that.
Bane actually also would be a fun Jihan too, but Bane's maybe a little too broad for this. Has to be like twink.
Yes, he's very tall. We need someone like a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
But I do like that for him because that's what I think. That's the vibe I want. Like pretty, but like you can tell it's a little cunty.
Right. I think cunty is the energy.
Yes.
My friend actually just
I just Googled the boys member profile. Yeah, I must cast one of the boys.
Okay, Cunty from the boys, obviously like new.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he's kind of like outgo. I mean, it's a character, you know, they can step it up. Chani from the boys. But I think Kevin would be a fun.
I think Kevin would enjoy it. I think he'd have fun.
Kevin can put on a blonde wig, you know.
Oh yeah.
I'm writing Kevin down.
Wait, did you have any cast you thought of for the main people?
No, I mean I was gonna like lean in. I think this is a good list. The only thing I was thinking for Usa, I mean, my brain is how been rotted, so I was like, which one is the Hao and which one is the Hanbin? I think Han. Well, they're not actors. First, I love my ZV1 boys, but they are not actors. So except for one, except for the actor. I don't think Jiwoong could do Jigon. I think he needs to be like a big presence.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to cast Haobin in this, it would be Usa and Jihan, to be honest. I think I could see Hanbin be a Usa and Zhang Hao be the evil character.
I thought the same thing.
I think that's the lore energy that they live in.
Okay, well, speaking of ZB1, let me throw a curveball. Gyuvin looks exactly like Song Kang. Song Kang?
Yeah, Song Kang. Yeah.
So Gyuvin be Jisuk.
And Song Kang be Jigon? Wait.
Mm-hmm. I want them to play brothers in a drama so bad.
Well, that was the thing when we were watching Island too, like when they switched from Song Kang to Song Hanbin, we were like, wouldn't it be a gag if they got Kim Gyubin? So they were fully like transitioned from one face to the other face.
It's like spot the difference.
Yes. Oh my god. Okay, so here we go. I'm adding Kim Gyubin as Jisuk because we said dog energy.
Dog energy. So he's playful.
He's very playful. But I mean, yeah, Song Kang is such a great actor, so I would also love to see that.
No.
Wow, I don't know. I think we could book the girls. I think we could give them their gigs.
Yeah, I think we could do it. Where's our check?
Where's our check? Please. Okay, so I'm writing down Song Hanbin as Usa. Well, this will be a fun infographic to create on Canva when this episode drops.
You're welcome.
People are going to be like, what? Now, what delusional fantasies are we doing today, honey?
The top tier. I only give you top tier delusions.
Absolutely. Wow. Auburn, I had so much fun talking Tide to you. This was great.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I don't know what we should do next. I don't know what other book. So maybe we'll open it up once this episode airs. We'll leave, people can write comments if there are other titles that they're like, some that I want to throw in. I would love to read My Love Mix-Up because I want to watch all of the My Love's mix-ups.
I own the whole series. It's a fun series.
Okay.
It's really good. I really enjoy that one. I was actually thinking of like things that have been adapted too. I know Twilight Out of Focus just got an anime.
Oh, okay.
Gaga Ulala.
Yes.
And I've never read it, and I'm like, that's cool. More anime.
Oh wow. Twilight Out of Focus. Boys Films is.
I think the gig is that they're filming like a BL for their film class, and it's like roommates to lovers.
Oh, I just saw this because I'm also on Crunchyroll. I just saw. I saw this and saved it. Okay, interesting. So this is also a manga that we could potentially read.
I'm throwing that in the hat.
Okay, so if anyone has like really beloved stories, are there genres or tropes that you're not into? I mean, there's a lot, right? But like, you're an open book.
I'm kind of an open book. The only thing I don't like is specifically, I didn't mind the tutor student, but like teacher student, I think is icky.
Yeah.
When it gets to like that kind of power dynamic, that's like impossible to create balance.
Right.
But I think that, not to sound like a freak, but I think that's kind of it.
Not to sound like a freak, but as an author for Wattpad, I'm pretty open to anything.
When I tell you, I was like, did RJ ask me to do this because it's like a brotherly triangle and that's so Wattpad coded?
Oh, we've Googled around, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way too. I have a very weird fear of dystopian storytelling. So if there's anything where it's like everyone, if it gets a little battle royale, I'm like, not for me, thank you. But
I will say that I can't do gore.
Yeah.
I can't do gore.
So
I'm not a huge fan of dystopian either, I would say.
Yeah. I can't even watch the Hunger Games, girl. Like, I can't even.
That's my greatest embarrassment as like a YA young adult author is I've never read Hunger Games.
It's too spooky. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
It's so sad.
It's so sad. I already live in the Hunger Games, girl. I don't want to.
Having a hard time. I live in my mom's house. I don't want to read that.
So yeah, if anyone, if you're a beret on Patreon, we have a Discord channel for books, fan fiction. I mean, we have. Hey, listen. If there is a series or a title, if there is a tag, we could get Adam on this microphone to talk about that. I'm sure because he's definitely the more voracious
podcast.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the next frontier.
I support it as a beret.
Fan fiction. We keep telling the joke with Adam of like, once Anxious Millennials is over, then Adam and Ari will just fully devolve into fan fiction.
I'll tune in. I like Ari.
Yeah, just like full 17 fan fiction, because you know those carrots. Their minds are sick, and we love them. So yeah, if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to share them. Thank you, Auburn, for like being our pilot program here. Do you want to plug your book again, or plug any way people can support your work?
Like I said, my name is Auburn Morrow. I am the debut author of The Trial Period, which is coming out February 2025. Very soon, I'm going to be able to announce the cover and pre-orders. So if you want to find out more about that, follow me on Instagram. Let me pull up my handle. It is at Auburn Morrow Books. So just follow me over on Instagram for more updates.
Slay. Yes, and when that pre-order comes out, we are doing one book order at a time. You order, if you're buying for friends, make sure you are ordering one book for that person. Yes. No bulk orders and pre-orders, really.
Contact your local library, ask them to get it on inventory, all book authors.
And then, once those pre-orders, then the audiobook's going to come. Then, the film rights are going to come. It's all going to happen from that.
Mm-hmm. That is what I'm manifesting.
Yes. Listen, if Red, White, and Royal Blue can get Emmy nominations, we're going to get The Trial Period.
So can my lesbians.
Yes. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Auburn. And thank you, everyone, for joining the BLBL Book Club. And we'll tune in next time for more BLIT.
Thank you.